Hello Yash, how was your day today?
It was quite good. I had a kind of a day off, so I relaxed most of the day.
Okay, so can you tell us where are you from and your age?
I am 22 years old and I'm from Kolkata.
Okay, so we are conducting an interview regarding COVID and your perception and how it has been for you. So can you tell us a little bit about how your COVID experience has been?
Well, to be honest, it has been a kind of a it has been full of ups and downs. Luckily, I haven't been infected with by the virus yet. But however, yes, I have been following various safety standards and protocols. I have been staying indoors. I'm doing I'm studying, so I'm not uh, roaming around much. I was for the past 6 months. I was in my institute's campus, so there also I had little or no contact from the outside world. Other than that, it has been quite like it has been okayish time, just like any other normal persons.
Okay, so we would like to know a bit about your perception about lockdown. Do you think it achieved the objectives that the government led?
Uh, no, yes, it did achieve some of the objectives, but that also not at its at like how it should have achieved. See, the lockdown, the basic objective of lockdown of the lockdown was to reduce the spread of the virus. Ultimately, it did achieve it, but the time taken for it was it was a lot. So like even if after the lockdown was imposed, rules were like the lockdown rules were regularly broken by some people. Still people were not so serious about it. Still the virus was spreading. So I believe ultimately no, the objectives they haven't been met yet.
So
Okay.
where do you think the government lagged? Like why did objectives were not achieved? Because some of the countries they have beautifully locked down their country. If you take the example of New Zealand, right? They did a great job of containing the virus. Where do you think India lagged?
See, we obviously cannot compare ourselves with a country like New Zealand because our population density is it's too high. So like
Hmm.
just if we take if we take any city, the entire population for that is greater than that of a country like New Zealand's. So, but however, I think the government did lay down its rules and regulations, but there were some basic loopholes and there were some shortcomings in the restrictions, the guidelines which the government had brought out. And further also even if after the government had given its had imposed the restrictions and the lockdowns, we people we were not following it diligently. Like on a normal day, on a lockdown, on a lockdown we can see people roaming around here and there. This has been cases more in this has been same case in most of the states where people are not following it sincerely. Yes, whenever there are security personnel, there are police, law enforcement, and at those particular times, they try their best to ensure that the restrictions are followed, the people are following the rules and regulations, people are going out with a mask. But again, where people are not taken very seriously when there's no one to look out for them. Then again, after that, the country cannot stay in lockdown for a long period of time because all the economic activities would have stopped. So in that point of view, eventually even after 1 month of lockdown, things have to open up a bit. Otherwise, everything would come to a basic halt. So this is giving a lot of problem. I believe this gave a lot of problem to the economy because what could have been controlled in a month took probably 7 or 8 months to be controlled.
Okay. Yes. So I would like to ask a question here. That was anyone close to you or related to you was affected with this virus?
Yeah, a few members of my family were affected by the virus.
Okay. And how was the medical facility provided to them? So do you had any concerns regarding the medical facilities provided by the government?
See, I live in Kolkata, so there are ample amount, like there are hospitals and medicines available readily over here. But now if you ask specifically from the government like the government hospitals were like almost full most of the times. There were lack of beds, lack of basic equipments, lack of medicines over here. The government medicine shops didn't have most of the medicines, and some basic life-saving drugs where what I heard about what I heard was that some basic life-saving drugs were very uncommon over here, because they were most of the times they were out of stock. But again, this is in the case of the government hospitals. But again, if you move towards the private hospital scenario in Kolkata, I believe there are various beds were available, medicines were available, doctors were present. But it depends upon if you can afford a private hospital, it will be well and good. If you cannot, then it's you'll be in deep trouble.
Okay,
Okay.
Yash, can you also comment on the availability of basic services? Like if you faced any hindrances in internet connectivity because everything would have moved to the digital, right? And all other basic necessaries like groceries and food items. Do you think when the lockdown was initially implemented, did you face any of these issues?
Normally, no, I didn't face any such issue. The internet service was coming regularly, but like I would like to mention an incident. If you know, a major cyclone came in Kolkata during the month of, I think, August end. So at that time, most of the services were out for more than a month. That also in a major city like Kolkata. So the cyclone had destroyed various towers, network connection all were hampered. So due to the lockdown and restrictions, it took a lot of time for the engineers to get it back. So that was a time where most of the city was without internet connection. Even cellular connection was normal mobile network was unavailable most of the times. Now coming to groceries and all, yes, groceries, the apps such as Grofers and Big Baskets, they were delivering groceries to our homes doorsteps. But the time taken by such apps was sometimes a lot. If I order today, the situation was like if I order today, I would get the required items after 3 or 4 days, and sometimes even after that, things went out of stock and it never came. But again, however, the local shops also improvised. They started home delivery systems wherein you can just call and tell what all you need. They would send it. So things were not that bad over here.
Okay, so Yash, are you a fresher? As you mentioned that you are pursuing MBA, are you a
Mhm.
fresher?
Yeah, I'm a fresher.
Okay, so do you know anyone in your friends or acquaintances that has lost jobs during the pandemic?
Well, yeah, I know a few people who have lost jobs, as well as I know 3 people who had job offers, but they were just they were for around 6 months. The joining date started to get delayed. Then ultimately the offer letter was cancelled. So yes, in a way, I know a lot of people who lost their jobs during the pandemic.
Okay, so can you comment on the awareness of people, general public in your area? Are they really following the necessary protocols laid down by the government? And if yes, then has it affected your life and lifestyle in any way? Do you think government did a great job at spreading the awareness?
I believe the government did to spread the awareness. I think the government did what all it can, because famous personalities, influencers, often government were collaborating with them to spread the general awareness. They were able to reach the masses. But again, this the problem lies in implementation, and as well as lies with us, because we were not taking those guidelines very seriously. Now coming to the implementation part, like I believe the law enforcement did fail at certain points of time, of certain times to ensure its proper enforcement. For example, what I heard in New Delhi was that if you roam around in the streets without a mask, you are given a challan, you have to pay a fine. But there was no such system over here. In Kolkata, people were just roaming the streets without mask and without any such protections. I often saw that the basic law enforcement the police officers, they were ignoring such people. So I think that is a place where law enforcement could have, and the government as well as the government could have done better. And now coming to the how the restrictions were followed by in my particular area, in the start of the lockdown, it was like people were following it very much sincerely and in a very focused way. They were scared of the virus, but as time passed, I believe staying indoors, people got probably irritated and they lost their like basic uh, like basic process of thinking. They were getting agitated, they started roaming around more and more. So I believe this is this thing this is I believe this is very wrong. Like people should have stayed indoors, but they didn't. So that is a place where the shortcomings came.
Yes, I have a
Okay.
comment to make and a question to ask.
Hmm.
Now, if someone, let's say government is spreading awareness and people are not following, then do you think they are really spreading awareness, because it is not getting spread anyway, right? Second wave is on its way, and we are like getting a lot more cases now than ever.
Hmm.
And secondly, do you think this behavior of public is anyway affecting your daily lifestyle?
Now, for the answer to the first part, like yes, like it can be said that the government did fail in spreading the awareness, because ultimately people were not listening, people were not getting influenced by the government, and they were not understanding the gravity of the situation. So yes, it can be said that the government did fail, but this failure doesn't alone belong to the government, it belongs to us as well. We as humans, like we should have understood that this situation is very bad, because like let's just let's just say that in the after the first when the lockdown restrictions was eased. So what happened, and people started roaming around without masks. They started going to restaurants, parks, they started going for parties. So due to this, the second wave has started. So the onus of this belongs to us, because it is our fault. If we could have just waited for more patiently for the vaccine to come, just it should have been 4 or 5 more months, after which we could have made an influence on this. But yes, the blame does fall on the government also, because the government is not prioritizing things as per as it should. Now, for example, right now, what is happening in Kolkata is because, as you know, the elections are going on, the state elections. So there is no guidelines, no lockdown, no restrictions, nothing. The different parties are campaigning like just every other day. Rallies are going out, like thousands and lakhs of people are in such rallies. This is affecting normal people a lot, because now I'm not able to just, like, for the past 7 days I haven't even stepped out of my house, because it is very risky. Each and every day I see out of my window thousands of people going about in rallies, because just because of, like, for example, just because of political agendas and priorities of certain of the government as well as other parties, we are suffering. So I believe
Okay.
ultimately, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Complete.
So yeah, so ultimately, yeah, we are suffering. The government did fail ultimately, and the lifestyles of normal people as well as me is being affected because of the second wave.
Okay. So, Yash, I have questions regarding you personally. So, you
Mm.
told that you were not affected by Corona, like you didn't catch Corona. But how was you affected physically or mentally in the lockdown? Like, we were not allowed to go out, right? So, we were, inside our homes.
Mm.
So, how it affected you physically or mentally?
So first of all, physically, like as I inside confined by the four walls, my daily activity level, it just fell down drastically. So that was one thing. Like because of that, like it can be said that after 4 or 5 months, my uh, I became quite unhealthy and unfit physically as well as coming to mentally. Yes, it did affect, because like right now I'm just staying inside of my house for such a long time. Now I'm just craving for a vacation because I just want to go out. Like I need a break, but that is not possible. So in that way, yes, it is affecting me mentally as well.
Okay, so that's all from my side. Varun, do you have any questions?
Parting, just to make sure we haven't missed anything. Yes, do you think, did you face anything regarding whatever you asked during this pandemic as a problem?
um well, yes, normally, yes, I did face a lot of problems. Like my like the onus of my problems lies upon us only, because like the virus was spreading a lot. Like a couple of my family members were seriously affected. They were hospitalized or they were hospitalized for more than 10 days. So yes, ultimately we did face a lot of problems, but like again, nothing can be done about it right now. So I believe what can be done is that the second wave is approaching. We need to understand the gravity of the situation, take necessary precautions, get vaccinated, and ensure that this time passes away quickly.
Okay. Thank you, Yash, for your time. That's all from our side. We wish all
Thank
the
you.
best to you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Varun. Thank you, Nikhil.